everyone, and welcome to another episode of Marksman Weekly. Today's episode will be the SVU review. I've been looking forward to doing this episode for quite some time. I've been telling you off and on throughout my videos that the SVU is my favorite weapon. And the gameplay we'll be watching is me using the SVU on Prison Break in what is probably the strangest free-for-all match I've ever played. The lobby was filled with very new players who hadn't really hit their stride yet. Several people rage quit, several people joined late, and the end result is I win by 27 points. That's something I never thought would even be possible on Call of Duty, and it was a lot of fun for me anyway, and I hope you enjoy the gameplay. The class setup I used for this game is my standard marksman rifle class setup. I used a silencer with armor-piercing rounds, ready up, marathon, dead silence, amplify, focus, and hardline. And for my kill streaks, I went with the dog, the battle hind, and the griffin. In 1991, the Russian military began working on a modernized bullpup version of the Dragunov SVD sniper rifle, and in 1994, they produced the Dragunov SVU sniper rifle. For those of you unfamiliar with the term bullpup, what it means is that the action has been moved to the back of the weapon behind the trigger in the buttstock to allow for shorter overall weapon length while maintaining the same barrel length. Chambered for a 7.62 by 54 millimeter round and having an effective range of 1200 meters means that the Dragunov SVU sniper rifle actually has a lot more in common with sniper rifles than it does marksman rifles, which makes me a little curious as to why it's in the marksman class. I assume it's because the game developers decided to have it be a two-shot kill, which basically makes it a marksman rifle, obviously, as far as the game's concerned. And while we're on the subject of the developers misrepresenting this weapon, it's interesting that you have the K7, the VKS, and the Honey Badger with integrated silencers, but not the SVU, even though the real-life SVU has an integrated sound suppressor. The in-game SVU is extremely powerful. It's got a max damage of 68 that starts to drop at 19.5 meters, and it drops all the way down to 52 at 50 meters. But what that really means to you is that it is a two-shot kill as far as the eye can see. If you can make the shot in the game, it is a two-shot kill so long as you're not firing through an object or hitting a ballistic vest. Firing 400 rounds per minute is kind of a weakness because it takes its time to kill down to 0.45 seconds, which is pretty slow compared to the other weapons in the game. It's got an 18-round magazine, 27 with extended bags, and is a very slow reloading weapon with 4.1 seconds empty, 3 seconds with ammo left, and 1.7 second cancel time. Aside from its extremely slow fire rate and its very slow reload speed, it also has one more very significant hindrance to anybody playing the game, and that is the scope. It is a very, very bulky scope. When you're not ADS'd, it's one of the largest scopes in the game, and it cuts off a very significant portion of your screen. And when you do ADS, the actual window you're looking through is the smallest in the game. It blocks off everything around the window, which a lot of people who sniped in Black Ops 2 and so on might actually like. It gives the feeling of a black scope as opposed to a blur scope. But since I'm a ghost guy, I got used to the blurred scope, and it took quite a bit of getting used to use the black scope. But the most important thing about that scope, the thing that bothered me the most, is that it does not have a true crosshair on it. Most guns have a vertical line and a horizontal line, and where they meet, that's where the bullet's going to go. It's very easy to determine. However, the SVU has a lot going on the scope, and in real life, everything about this scope is used. It's a scope that's used to measure distance and wind and count for bullet drop and everything else. It's a very, very special scope in real life, and the game did do it justice, but in the game it kind of sucks. So you got a horizontal line then you got the number 10, you've got an arrow, you've got another number 10, you got another horizontal line. Underneath the arrow are all these little tick marks. There's no full vertical line going from top to bottom. And when you raise the scope up to your eye, you're not focusing on the scope, you're focusing on the target. And there have been quite a few times where I will aim down sights and just fire all my bullets to someone's right because I have them targeted in on one of the number 10s instead of the little target cone. And it took me quite a while to get used to that. However, even though this is probably the worst scope in the game to get used to, once you get used to it, it's very usable. And it's necessary. If you take the scope off of this weapon, at least put a thermal sight on it. I don't normally promote the thermal sight. I hate that attachment. But this is a weapon that needs to be used at range. This is a sniper rifle. It has so much in common with sniper rifles in terms of the play style, in terms of how you use it, and to take away its range by putting something like a red dot or worse yet iron sights on it is just an abomination to the weapon. You're not using it correctly if you think it's an assault rifle. And that brings me to a little bit of a rant that I have been wanting to go on for quite a while now. The reason that I decided to start this channel is because of how I saw other people representing marksman rifles, and more specifically this weapon. If you do a YouTube search for the SVU, which I'm assuming that you have because either you're a subscriber of mine or you found my video via a search for the SVU marksman rifle, the fact is not the first probably 10 videos that'll pop up are all talking about how the SVU is the worst gun in the game. I'm so sick of hearing the SVU is the worst gun in the game. I've seen videos where it's worst class setup and it's featured around the SVU. I've seen videos where it's SVU, worst gun in the game, question mark, and everything else. And I click on those videos and I watch them, and the first thing I notice is they have a red dot sight or iron sights. The next thing I notice is a lot of them are using the 3-round burst. They think that using 3-round burst negates the terrible fire rate of the SVU, but it also increases the already substantial recoil of the SVU. And so it's going to take 2 bursts to kill anything. Burst fire is probably the worst attachment you can put on a marksman rifle because you're going to hit 1 shot every burst, and then you're going to have to fire 2 bursts anyway, and that's just going to kill your time to kill. And I just never saw anybody using this specific weapon the way that the game intended it to be used. See, they built this weapon for snipers, but snipers use sniper rifles and they don't touch this weapon, and that's all, you know, that's their thing. They, you know, I've messaged people like Cross and Nine and people like that, some of the bigger YouTube snipers, saying, hey, in Black Ops 2 you guys posted with the SVU, in Ghosts you don't touch it, what's up? And they all get back to me that they want to use one-shot kill weapons, and that's fine, use one-shot kill weapons. But since this is probably the worst quote-unquote assault rifle in the game, and snipers won't touch it, nobody uses it the way it's supposed to be, and that's why I decided to start this channel, to finally give the marksman rifles, but more specifically this marksman rifle, a little bit of credit and represent it the way it's meant to be represented, because the fact is, a lot of people think this is the worst weapon in the game. I actually think that this is a borderline overpowered weapon. It is a 2-shot kill from anywhere on the map with a silencer. It's got a 1-shot kill out to a very significant range. I haven't done the math to see exactly how far it is, but it's very, very far. I would say the 1-shot kill is farther than most SMG 3-shot kill ranges, possibly some of the assault rifle 3-shot kill ranges. And it is just great. Part of the reason I threw some quick scoping in at the beginning of this video was to show people that I know how to quick scope. That was what I was doing before I decided to use the marksman rifles. I've explained that in my first video, but I'll go ahead and do this one so that everybody who doesn't know me can know where I come from. I just decided I didn't really care for quick scoping. It wasn't a whole lot of fun to me. And when I started playing with this weapon, I realized that the playstyle for a sniper rifle and the playstyle for the SVU are pretty much the same playstyle. It's just this one is tap instead of tap once. So in the end, it really just comes down to this. The SVU only has one true job in this game. It's not a very versatile weapon. It's not an everybody weapon. I keep harping on this as my favorite weapon. The reason it's my favorite weapon is because it fits my playstyle. I like staying at range. I like being silent. I like being a stealthy sniper who takes people out from a long way away. And you know, after they did the nerfs to the silencers on the sniper rifles, making them basically a one-shot kill from the chest up, which is very difficult to use in this game. I mean, unless you're just an incredible sniper, you're not going to have a whole lot of luck using a silencer on the sniper rifle in this game. Unless, of course, it's the VKS, but whatever. The truth is that because there's no silencer penalty for the SVU in terms of shots to kill, it is perfect for a stealth sniper role. You don't rush with it. It's not for everyone, but if you want to be a stealthy sniper style player, the SVU is definitely something I would suggest. Thanks for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Don't forget to subscribe, and until my next video, have a good week.